The lounge door slid apart with a quiet whoosh, smooth and controlled. And that was the exact moment she stormed forward like the entire terminal belonged to her. Designer purse swinging, voice already raised, eyes scanning the room like she needed witnesses. She wanted attention. She wanted people to see her grand entrance. But the thing she was gripping wasn't just out of place. It was wrong in a way that made my stomach tighten. And the second when the lounge staff looked down at it, his polite smile disappeared instantly, like someone had flipped a hidden switch. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how fast a boring travel day turned into a full-blown public spectacle. I'd arrived early because my flight was delayed, and I figured I'd at least enjoy the lounge. Grab a drink, sit somewhere quiet, charge my phone, maybe breathe like a human being for a change. The lounge is usually my reset button. Soft lighting, muted conversations, that calm, exclusive you paid for peace feeling. At the check-in podium, 2 staff members stood side by side. One was a younger guy, crisp uniform, steady voice, clearly trained to stay calm no matter what. Beside him was a woman who looked like she'd seen every type of traveler imaginable and wasn't intimidated by any of them. She smiled politely, but her eyes said, "Go ahead, try it." I took my place in line, behind a couple of people. Everything was routine. Scan your boarding pass. Show your membership. Polite nod. Step inside. Normal. Then she appeared. Karen didn't bother lining up like everyone else. She cut in sideways, diagonally, like waiting was beneath her. She planted herself right at the counter, leaned in, and announced loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear, "Hi, I'm in a hurry. I need access right now." The young staff member didn't react. Calm, professional. "Of course, ma'am. May I please see your boarding pass and lounge membership?" Instead of pulling out her phone like everyone else, Karen slapped a thick plastic ID card onto the counter. Thicker than normal. Heavier. "This is all you need." He picked it up, clearly assuming it was some corporate credential or airline-issued access card. But something was off immediately. The colors looked too bright, like a cheap print job. The photo was slightly fuzzy. And the name, she'd chosen something absurdly official sounding, like a villain in a bad movie trying to sound important. His eyes flicked from the card to her face, then back again. His mouth opened like he was about to speak, then closed. He tilted the card under the overhead light, checking the surface. That's when I saw it. The hologram wasn't right. It didn't shift properly. It looked like someone had slapped on a shiny sticker and hoped no one would notice. Karen caught his hesitation instantly and raised her voice. "Is there a problem? Because I don't have time for this. I travel constantly." "One moment, ma'am," he said evenly. "I just need to verify something." That's when she snapped, leaned over the counter and barked, "Verify? Excuse me? It's a government-issued ID. Government-issued for lounge access." I almost laughed, but her confidence wasn't funny. It wasn't normal confidence. It was that aggressive, bullying certainty that only shows up when someone thinks intimidation will get them through anything. The experienced staff woman finally turned fully toward the card. I watched her expression shift, small, precise, sharp, like she'd seen this pattern before. She didn't touch it. She just stepped closer and looked. Karen noticed. "Ma'am," she said, pointing at her, "I don't know who you are, but he's clearly confused. I need someone competent." The entrance went quiet. Not peaceful quiet. Listening quiet. Everyone pretending to mind their business while hearing every word. The young staff member gently placed the card back on the counter. "Ma'am, can you confirm the name and date of birth on this ID?" Karen rolled her eyes dramatically. "It's right there. Read it." He glanced down again. "And can you please tell me your address?" Her face twitched for half a second. "Why would you need my address?" "For verification." She laughed loudly. "Fake. Performative. The kind meant to embarrass him. This is ridiculous. I'm a premium traveler. Do you know how much money I spend with this airline?" That's when the experienced staff woman spoke. Still calm, still polite, but somehow heavier. "Ma'am, this ID does not match our accepted forms for lounge entry." Karen's smile vanished. What did you just say? It doesn't match accepted forms. If you have a valid membership or eligible boarding pass, we can assist you. Otherwise, you may purchase a day pass if available. Her cheeks flushed red. She snatched the card and held it up like evidence. Are you accusing me of something? This is my ID. Now everyone was watching. A businessman leaned to get a better look. A couple near the entrance paused mid-sip. Even another staff member glanced over. The young employee did something subtle that made my stomach drop. He didn't argue. He didn't raise his voice. He pressed a button beneath the counter. Silent, discreet. Karen didn't notice. I did. Ma'am, the staff woman said calmly, please lower your voice. I will not, Karen snapped. You're embarrassing me. The irony was thick. She was the only one performing. Then she made the worst possible move. She leaned in and hissed, let me in now, or I'll report you. I'll have both your jobs. The young staff member finally looked up differently now, focused, certain. Ma'am, he said slowly, where did you get this ID? She froze for a heartbeat, then snapped back with anger. What kind of question is that? It's mine. This card has multiple inconsistencies, the staff woman said, sharper now. You're lying, Karen shot back. The young staff member slid a laminated guide onto the counter, tapping a section. We can't accept this. She slapped it away. I don't care what your little sheet says. That's when I realized she wasn't just entitled. She was desperate. Entitled people argue rules. Desperate people argue reality. And then she pointed at me. You. I blinked. Me. Tell them you've seen IDs like this before. Tell them it's real. You were in line. You saw it. My heart started pounding. I hadn't said a word. I didn't know her. I raised my hand slightly. Ma'am, I don't. She cut me off. Of course you do. You're just scared because they're acting like police. The staff woman turned to me apologetically. Sir, don't need to engage. Karen snapped back. Don't call him, sir, like he matters more than me. The lounge had become a stage. Then I heard fast, deliberate footsteps behind the podium. The staff noticed immediately. Karen didn't. When the figure stepped into view, the staff woman's posture shifted. Backup had arrived. Karen turned, still gripping the fake ID like a trophy, ready to escalate again. And that's when I realized this wasn't ending with her being turned away. Airport security had arrived. When they tried to verify basic details, she instantly turned hostile. Karen gasped dramatically. Aggressive? You're calling me aggressive now. Security took the card from the counter. He didn't react right away. Instead, he tilted it under the light, mirroring exactly what the lounge staff had done earlier. Then he flipped it over. Then back again. This time, I saw it clearly too. The edges weren't smooth. They were uneven, not factory sealed. The hologram shimmered wrong, like a cheap party trick that only worked from one angle. Security looked up. Ma'am, where did you obtain this ID? Karen crossed her arms tightly. I already told you. It's mine. That's not an answer, he replied, calm and unmoved. She scoffed loudly. Unbelievable. You see a confident woman and immediately assume she's a criminal. No one responded. That silence did more damage than any argument ever could. Security nodded once, like he'd reached a conclusion internally. Ma'am, this is not a government-issued ID, nor is it an airline-issued credential. Karen laughed again, too loud, too sharp. You don't know that. I do, he replied evenly, because I've seen legitimate ones. That's when she switched strategies. Her expression shifted instantly. Her voice softened. Her eyes widened. This is humiliating. I'm being singled out. I demand a supervisor. The experienced staff woman leaned forward slightly. He is airport security. Karen blinked, then called someone higher. Security didn't take the bait. Before we do that, I need you to step aside. No, she snapped. I'm not moving until I get access. Behind me, someone muttered quietly. Here we go. Security straightened. Ma'am, you are blocking the entrance. Step aside now. Karen planted her feet. Make me? The words landed heavy. Security turned briefly to the staff. Has she provided any valid boarding pass or lounge membership? No, the young staff member answered. Only the card. Security nodded, then turned back to Karen. Ma'am, I'm going to ask one more time. Step aside so we can resolve this privately. Her face hardened. You're trying to intimidate me. No, he replied. I'm trying to prevent this from escalating. She leaned forward again, voice rising. Oh, it's escalating because I'm recording this. She pulled out her phone and started filming, swinging it around to capture the staff, security, and the crowd that had fully gathered now. Look at this, she announced to her phone. Airport staff accusing me of fraud. Discrimination at its finest. The experienced staff woman didn't flinch. Ma'am, recording does not change the facts. Karen spun toward her. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Security stepped slightly between them. Ma'am, put the phone down. I will not. That was the moment she slipped. As she waved the phone, the fake ID slid from her fingers and hit the floor face up. Security looked down, then crouched. His expression changed instantly. He picked it up carefully, flipped it over, and examined it longer this time. Much longer. The crowd felt it too. That shared sense that something irreversible had just happened. Security stood. Ma'am, this card uses a serial format associated with counterfeit IDs we were briefed on last quarter. Karen's mouth opened, then closed. That's ridiculous. You're making that up. Security didn't argue. He spoke quietly into his radio, requesting a supervisor and secondary verification at the lounge entrance. Her confidence shattered. You can't do this. This is insane. I just wanted access. He looked at her calmly. Then why bring this? Silence. Real silence this time. Karen glanced around. Everyone was watching. No pretending. No polite avoidance. Just eyes. She swallowed. I travel a lot. That doesn't explain the card, he said. Her voice dropped. You don't understand how hard it is to be treated like you don't belong. The staff woman replied evenly. Belonging isn't proven with fake credentials. Karen snapped back. Stop calling it fake. Security raised a card. This is not valid, and presenting counterfeit identification is a serious matter. Her phone dipped. Her hand shook. I didn't hurt anyone. I just wanted access. He nodded slowly. Intent doesn't erase consequences. A supervisor arrived, a woman whose authority was obvious the moment she stepped in. She assessed the scene in seconds. What do we have? Security handed her the card. Suspected counterfeit ID. Guest attempted restricted access and became confrontational when questioned. The supervisor examined it once, then looked directly at Karen. Ma'am, this is not a misunderstanding. Karen's voice cracked. Please, this is getting out of hand. The supervisor gestured aside. We're stepping away from the crowd. Karen hesitated, then nodded, defeated but clinging to what dignity she had left. And for the record, the supervisor added quietly, this became public because of your choices. Karen stared at the floor as they moved her a few steps away, while everyone else stared at her. That's when I realized something felt off. This wasn't just about lounge access. People don't risk exposure like this unless they're hiding something bigger. The whispers didn't even try to stay quiet anymore. Her earlier confidence was gone, replaced by rigid posture and shallow breaths. The supervisor spoke calmly. Ma'am, using a counterfeit ID in a secured airport area is a federal issue. Karen flinched at the word federal. I didn't know it was counterfeit, she said too quickly. I was told it was legitimate. Security tilted his head. Told by who? She hesitated. Just long enough. This is the moment honesty helps, the supervisor said. Karen's shoulders sagged. It wasn't supposed to be a big deal. It was just lounge access. Security replied quietly. People don't carry counterfeit IDs for comfort seating. Silence again. Finally, she exhaled sharply. Fine. You want the truth. The supervisor nodded. I was banned. The word hit harder than all the shouting. Banned, the supervisor repeated. From this airline. From the lounges. From multiple airports, Karen said, voice shaking now. Last year, security crosses arms. Why? She laughed bitterly. Why do you think? Complaints, recording staff, making scenes, abusing the system. That's what they wrote. So you knowingly tried to bypass the ban, the supervisor said. Karen's eyes filled. I paid for those perks. They don't get to decide I don't belong. And when access was revoked, security said, you chose fraud. I didn't fake it myself, Karen shot back. Someone online sells corporate access IDs. They said staff never questioned them. Did they mention consequences? The supervisor asked. They said the worst thing was getting turned away. Security held up the card. They lied. Karen stared at it. I just wanted to sit somewhere nice. Rules don't disappear because we're tired of them, the supervisor replied. Karen suddenly looked at me again, but this time there was no anger, just desperation. They always embarrass me. And that's when it clicked. She wasn't acting entitled because she felt powerful. She was acting entitled because she felt cut off from privilege, from attention, from spaces that once told her she mattered. We're escorting you for further processing, the supervisor said. Processing? Karen panicked. You said this was an arrest. We need to document and determine next steps. This is insane over a chair and free snacks, Karen protested. It stopped being about snacks when you use a fake ID, security replied. They walked her away. No cuffs, no shouting, just quiet control. As she passed the lounge entrance, she glanced back at the calm she never reached. I used to belong there. No one answered. When it was over, the supervisor apologized to the line. Access resumed like nothing had happened. I stepped forward, scanned my pass, and walked in. Inside, the silence felt heavier. I sat down, drink untouched, phone still dead, thinking about how fast confidence collapses when it's built on lies. Karen didn't just lose lounge access. She lost the illusion that bullying could replace permission, and everyone saw it.